When a millionaire tried to humiliate a cleaner, she arrived as a diva and changed everything. Claire stood in the opulent foyer of Mark's mansion, the scent of polished marble mingling with the faint traces of her own sweat. She had tackled countless homes in this picturesque suburban town, her resilient spirit barely waning beneath the weight of her daily grind. Yet Mark's searing condescension enveloped her like heavy smoke. His contempt for her profession thrummed in the air whenever he dropped a dismissive remark as she scrubbed his gleaming floors. "Make it shine like a diamond, Claire," he'd sneered, and her gut twisted with the insult hidden behind his polite facade. Still, she could not allow his disdain to break her resolve or dim the light for her spirited Mia. As she washed the floors, she hummed the melodies of a life she had long buried. Her father's voice echoed in her mind, urging her to uphold dignity through hard work. But 5 years of cleaning other people's luxuries in drab uniforms had sapped her dreams. While the dust settled around her, Claire's self-doubt flickered like a dim flame. Would she ever unlock that part of herself again? It was a question she buried deep. Yet something awakened within when she glimpsed a mirror in the hallway, a reflection not just of her weary face, but of untapped potential. Before she could drown in thoughts of inadequacy, an unexpected turn sent shockwaves through the evening. Mark hosted a lavish gala filled with influential figures from the tech world, his wealthy friends laughing as they clinked glasses. Claire had reluctantly entered, a drab reminder of her place among the shimmering elite. Its grandeur suffocated her, yet mingled with her discomfort was something else. A burgeoning rage sparked by Mark's recent tirade against an unsuspecting staff member. As he tore into them, his arrogance rang clear, venomous words issuing forth like daggers. Claire couldn't breathe, witnessing dignity shredded before her eyes, stirring not just sympathy, but a furious conviction deep within. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The roar of the crowd pulled Claire from her thoughts, intense music surging through the hall. Something snapped inside her, leaving her with a startling clarity. This was her moment. A spark of defiance lit her heart as she excused herself and found a floor-length gown, its elegance in stark contrast to her usual cleaning uniform. When she stepped onto the stage, anticipation mixed with anxiety coiled in her gut. The room went silent, all eyes converging on her. But Mark's disdain twisted in the background. This was more than a simple performance. It was a rebellion against accumulated slights, an emotional exorcism that was begging to be released. Each note she sang bled honesty and rawness, yet in the vibrant thrill lay an unyielding fear, one that clenched her heart tightly. What if this was it? What if this was all she could ever hope for? As she finished the song, her heart raced. Exhilaration clashed with dread. The cheer of the crowd enveloped her, an embrace filled with promise. Yet she caught Mark's hateful glare, the tightening of his fists a physical manifestation of his frustration. The air thickened, and Claire felt the weight of a world balancing on the end of her next decision. The turmoil inside her reached a breaking point, each pulse screaming for authenticity, for identity. She was standing at the precipice of transformation. But would she take a step forward, or would she allow Mark's venom to silence her forever? The crowd hushed, and the tension electrified the air, pushing Claire further into an uncharted territory where dreams collided with harsh realities, leaving her breathless on the edge of a choice that might redefine everything. Claire's heart pounded in her chest, a wild rhythm against the silence that enveloped her. The crowd seemed suspended in time, every soul entranced by the unexpected presence that had shattered the usual decorum of the evening. Each facet of her surroundings acted as a mirror, reflecting not just the opulence, but the inequality that fueled her inner fire. She could feel the tides of judgment pressing in around her, a raw force that spurred her to discover the well of strength within. With the adrenaline coursing through her veins, Claire's mind oscillated between ecstasy and fear. What she had just done was daring, but it was only the beginning. Suddenly, a ripple of applause broke through the tension, not entirely enthusiastic, but genuine. Fueled by that fleeting acknowledgement, unrelated voices bubbled forth, some in admiration, others still tethered to Mark's scorn. It was confusing. Were they applauding her, or merely reacting to the shock of a cleaner igniting an unexpected moment of beauty? As she stepped down from the stage, a fierce resolve ignited within her. Claire had always been aware of the disparity surrounding wealth. The stark divisions it imposed were part of her daily life, observed through the pristine windows she cleaned. But tonight, with her momentary step into the spotlight, she'd broken the bounds of an invisible cage. If she'd stepped forward once, might she do it again? Could she shape this experience into something transformative for herself? Mark's disapproval haunted her with every step she took away from the stage. With his contempt palpable, she brushed against the periphery of his party, sensing their collective gaze shift back and forth between her and the sophisticated circle she had briefly infiltrated. The space felt suffocating, a sharp reminder of the lines she had always walked. But no longer was she just Claire, the cleaner. She was becoming someone more, someone driven by the electric charge of self-assertion. Her thoughts whirred rapidly, contemplating the possibilities ahead. With newfound courage, she approached a group of guests discussing a startup venture, their laughter puncturing the previously oppressive atmosphere. Could this be where she refocused her ambitions? As she inched closer, she introduced herself, her voice steady despite the internal tremors of anxiety that rippled through her. "My name is Claire. I'm working on a project about sustainable cleaning services that empower employees and focus on green practices," she found herself saying, the words flowing almost effortlessly. Their faces lit up in interest, questions began to pour forth, and she answered each one with clarity she had never possessed before. She was no longer just an invisible figure, blending into the background. She was contributing, helping them see a different perspective. But even amidst this exhilarating exchange, she couldn't shake Mark's looming presence. His scorn never waned as he scoffed from a distance, reminding her of her place. What's she doing mingling with high achievers? His disdainful smirk seemed to broadcast. Claire felt the weight of his skepticism, but instead of retreating, it fueled her resolve. The seeds of ambition that had lain dormant within her had begun to sprout. The moment had come to cultivate them into something far more meaningful. With every interaction, each exchange of ideas, Claire dissected a growing vision for herself. A life dedicated not just to survival, but one that intersected purpose and professionalism. She could turn the tide, shift perceptions not only of herself, but also of her profession. As the night unfolded, the world outside the mansion dimmed, but inside, her light brightened. The revelry of possibility danced like flickering candles in her mind, illuminating paths she never thought could lead anywhere. But as the clock ticked towards midnight and the party began to wane, Claire felt the pressing weight of reality setting in. Would she dare build upon this momentum tomorrow, challenging both her fears and the oppressive status quo? Or would she succumb to the safer shadows, allowing doubt to pull her back into obscurity? The dilemma spurred questions she could no longer ignore, urging her to confront the entire foundation from which her determination had begun to bloom. Claire knew the next morning would require her to tread where only the audacious dared, to face Mark, demand respect, and assert herself beyond the confines that once defined her life. Would she step into that confrontation? The air crackled with uncertainty, and Claire stood on the precipice of her next move, an imminent confrontation that could either launch her forward or push her back. The sunlight crept through her window as dawn broke, casting an unyielding glow on Claire's resolve. She lay in bed, the adrenaline of the previous night coursing through her veins, emboldening her yet again. The images of laughter and engagement replayed in her mind, fueling an insatiable hunger for more, a hunger for respect, recognition, and a life unconfined by her past. But the fear was there too, a gnawing reminder of the daily grind that had long delineated her existence. What if she met Mark's derision with an unexpected assertiveness? What if she succeeded? Claire swung her legs over the side of the bed, letting the cold floor anchor her to the moment. It was time for action. She knew today would push her past boundaries she had long accepted. With every brush of her teeth and every splash of water, she steeled herself. Today, she would confront not just Mark, but the very fabric of her life that had sewn together her identity as simply the cleaner. She could feel the weight of her work shirt against her skin, a symbol of her dual existence. In it, she felt the last remnants of her constraints, yet it also served as a canvas for her transformation. At the office, Claire arrived just as the other cleaners were beginning their shifts. The atmosphere buzzed with the mundane rhythm of daily duties. Yet for Claire, the energy felt different this morning, alive with potential. She smiled as she passed her colleagues, realizing she had always been a tethered force among them. But today, she would share her vision, her ambition. "Hey everyone," she called out, surprising even herself with the steadiness of her voice. The chatter quieted, heads turned, and she could see curiosity merging with skepticism reflected in their eyes. "I want to talk about something I'm passionate about, a sustainable cleaning service that values and empowers us as workers." The crowd's initial confusion turned into intrigued silence, and Claire pressed on, using her nervous energy as fuel. "We can create a business model that not only prioritizes environmental responsibility, but also elevates our craft. We deserve to be recognized as more than just cleaners. We are skilled workers with insight into what we do." As she spoke, she felt the tension ease in her chest, her words flowing with newfound confidence. She could see interest sparking among her colleagues, the energy in the room electrifying. But there was a voice that cut through the atmosphere. Mark's. "Oh, please, are we really taking this seriously?" he sneered, leaning against the hallway wall, arms crossed. His tone sent unwelcome chills down her spine, but she refused to let it deter her. "Yes, Mark," she shot back, meeting his condescending gaze. "If you can think of ways to invest in software or luxury resorts, why should we not focus on our own industry to elevate it? We are not just workers. We are skilled workers with insight into what we do." As she spoke, she felt the tension ease in her chest, her words flowing with newfound confidence. She could see interest sparking among her colleagues, the energy in the room electrifying. But there was a voice that cut through the atmosphere. Mark's. "Oh, please, are we really taking this seriously?" he sneered, leaning against the hallway wall, arms crossed. His tone sent unwelcome chills down her spine, but she refused to let it deter her. "Yes, Mark," she shot back, meeting his condescending gaze. "If you can think of ways to invest in software or luxury resorts, why should we not focus on our own industry to elevate it? We are not just workers. We are skilled workers with insight into what we do." As she spoke, she felt the tension ease in her chest, her words flowing with newfound confidence. She could see interest sparking among her colleagues, the energy in the room electrifying.
But there was a voice that cut through the atmosphere. Mark's. "Oh, please, are we really taking this seriously?" he sneered. His tone sent unwelcome chills down her spine, but she refused to let it deter her. "Yes, Mark," she shot back, meeting his condescending gaze. "If you can think of ways to invest in software or luxury resorts, why should we not focus on our own industry to elevate it? We are not just workers, we are innovators looking for sustainable change." His sneer faltered slightly. She had surprised him. The challenge hung in the air, a climax simmering between them. Claire's heart raced, each heartbeat drumming with intention. "So, will you help me, or are we going to cling to outdated roles?" The room felt charged, her colleagues
leaning in closer as the tension between her and Mark built. Would they choose to support her or fold under pressure? Just as Claire feared his response could set back her newfound momentum, Mark regained his composure, his smirk returning. "You aim too high, Claire. You don't know the first thing about the business world." That comment swung the door wide open. It was her moment. "So teach me then. Don't hide in your privilege. If you truly believe that's the case, let's see you back it up." A breathless silence enveloped the room. Claire realized in that instant that she was no longer the unseen figure blending into the background. She was challenging the status quo, daring to step into a role that demanded respect and recognition. But the self-doubt lurked. Would her colleagues stand with her? Would Mark rise to the occasion or tear her down further? With the stakes growing, every heartbeat intensified the electric tension as Claire called out, "If you believe in principles of accountability, you'll join me." Her challenge hung in the air, ready to either galvanize a community or isolate her further. The decision was now in their hands, and Claire felt the weight of possibility settle. As the seconds ticked by, she prepared to confront an uncertain but crucial choice: to birth change among her peers or risk retreating into silence. The moment of truth had arrived, and Claire knew whatever happened next would redefine more than just her day. It would redefine her life. The air in the hallway thickened, a blend of possibilities twinkling with uncertainty. Claire watched her colleagues' faces, searching each expression for a flicker of agreement or doubt. The moment felt monumental, as if the future of more than just her ambition danced on the edge of a knife. Minutes felt like hours, and just as the heavy silence threatened to bottom out her resolve, Sheila, an older cleaner with years of experience and a knowing smile, stepped forward. "I'm with you, Claire. This can be something real." Encouraged, Claire turned to face her colleagues, her confidence swelling. "Thank you, Sheila. We need to move past the misconceptions that bind us. Imagine a service that respects our skills, trained professionally, with responsible practices. We could redefine our roles in this industry." As others began to murmur in agreement, the momentum shifted. Claire could see an awakening, glow igniting their eyes. But then Mark's scoff erupted again, dousing the heat. "Oh, please, a few cleaners talking about revolution? What are you thinking? It'll never work." Frowning, Claire refused to back down. "Maybe it won't work if we only listen to voices that ridicule and dismiss our potential," she shot back, her tone difficult to suppress. Her instinct urged her to dissect the limitations people placed on one another, yet she sensed it was the fear of failing that made them sink back into complacency. Mark's arrogance hung heavy in the air, but Claire grasped the thread of opportunity he had unwittingly handed her. "Let's do this," she pressed, locking eyes with the others. "We can create a proposal to management. If they see our work can matter on a larger scale, they might just give us what we deserve." The murmurs turned into nods, the energy pulsing through the room. As if a dam had broken, they began discussing ideas that flowed like a river. Different cleaning techniques, sustainable products they could promote, and even ways to decentralize oppressive hierarchies within their positions. Claire felt a rush of exhilaration. She was facilitating an awakening, and with each suggestion, she could feel gaps in her own knowledge begin to fill. "Let's meet after our shifts. We can brainstorm and come up with a solid plan," Sheila proposed with a contagious excitement that propelled the conversation forward. "Yes, we can also research together," added Jonah, a younger member of the team who had always impressed Claire with his keen insights. As they arranged a time to meet, Claire stood at the apex of something increasingly larger than herself, a partnership in idealism ignited. The release of energy in the room affirmed her belief that change was possible. She stole a glance at Mark, who stood rigid against the wall, his facade cracking under the weight of their collective ambition. Yet while she wrestled with growing excitement, doubt still lurked. Could she really pull off this initiative? Would management see the value? She noted Mark's dismissive stance, a reminder that letting fear dictate her decisions had been her life story until now. The conversation ebbed as the clock dictated the shifts ahead. But Claire was resolute. There would be no more retreating into silence. Instead, she would build and harness this momentum, turning it into a vehicle of change. As her colleagues dispersed, the heavy burden of the unknown settled against her chest. Would her newfound determination withstand the challenges ahead? A prospect far greater than a simple business proposal. Later, as she began drafting ideas in a small notebook, her heart raced with the prospect of transformation, both in her life and the lives of her colleagues. But deep down, the question lingered. Could she navigate the layers of business negotiations, management skepticism, and her own self-doubt without being overwhelmed? That night, Claire tumbled into bed, her mind spinning with visions of what lay ahead. The potential for failure was monumental, yet so too was the promise of success. The path was no longer icy and treacherous. She had stepped onto firm ground. But the real test loomed ahead. Would she be able to confront not just Mark, but the complicated world of business that awaited her? One thought echoed in the quiet of the room. Tomorrow would not merely be another shift. It would be the first step in redefining her life. The morning light spilled through Claire's window like an uninvited guest, dragging her from sleep. She felt the pull of anxiety mixed with adrenaline as she prepared for the day. Today marked their first meeting to conceptualize the proposal, a junction where her dreams navigated the turbulent waters of reality. With a tight grip on her notebook, she arrived early, fingers nervously tracing the pages filled with sketches of their ideas, each word a building block for the future she envisioned. The meeting spot was an overlooked break room, stale with unremarkable coffee and the buzzing of fluorescent lights overhead. Claire inhaled deeply, grounding herself in the fresh challenges of this moment. As her colleagues began to trickle in, she witnessed the transformation on their faces. The spark of excitement fused with trepidation reflecting off of each person's features. Jonah was the first to sit beside her, his enthusiasm palpable. "I can't wait to share what I found about eco-friendly cleaning solutions. It's crucial for the image we want to convey." "Great! The more concrete our ideas, the stronger the proposal," Claire replied, surprised at how seamlessly collaboration was fueling her resolve. Each contribution marked a layer of depth to their growing ambitions. Sheila, weary yet vibrant in spirit, brought in a pile of industry reports. "I've been compiling best practices from successful cleaning businesses. We should highlight their models as examples of what we can become." Each report felt like a key unlocking a door to unknown opportunities, sending a thrill through Claire. Discussions erupted, echoing the dynamism they shared in the hallway post-meeting. They debated strategies, evaluated the insights on market demands, and cautiously explored the financial feasibility of their vision.
Claire's heart raced. The shift from doubt to clarity was intoxicating. With each idea, the fog of self-doubt that frequently clouded her mind began to clear. However, Mark entered the room at that moment, his presence a chill that doused the energy. "I figured I'd stop by. Are you all planning a grand strategy or just daydreaming?" His tone dripped with condescension as he leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, a barricade of skepticism. Claire felt a sudden tightness in her throat. Yet, fueled by the momentum they had created, she met his gaze. "We're building a solid proposal, Mark. This matters to us." As the words left her mouth, she sensed a pulse of defiance within herself. "Seriously? Do you think management will care about a bunch of cleaners' whims?" His dismissive scoff echoed through the room, intent on sowing doubt. "Actually, it's about redefining our roles," Claire countered. "And believe it or not, that could mean something to management if we prove value." A shift was occurring, and it steadily spread. Their united front against his derision felt like armor, shielding her burgeoning confidence. Sheila and Jonah exchanged glances, their expressions resolute. Mark's presence was no longer a shadow, but a challenge to overcome. If she wanted to succeed, she knew firsthand that she had to confront not only him, but the entrenched perspectives he represented. "I'm curious about something, Mark," Jonah interjected, throwing Claire a lifeline. "How can you be so sure change isn't possible?"
Haven't you ever wanted to do something significant? Claire felt the weight of Jonah's question linger in the air. It forced Mark to squirm, his bravado cracking slightly under the pressure of introspection. What if this confrontation could spark a change in him too? Could he recognize that his disdain stemmed from his own fears? The thought flickered momentarily, but Claire pushed it aside. She needed to focus on her team, on outputs that could light the way toward a new frontier. As the meeting resumed, she sensed a shift. There were no more hesitant voices, only the simmering confidence of a group that once felt marginalized. The air was charged, and each person seemed to amplify their evolving narrative. But as her mind whirled with strategies and new ideas, one truth loomed larger than all the others. Should Mark's doubt persist, it wouldn't merely be a hurdle, it would be a mirrored reflection of the doubts she carried within herself. Could she confront her own internal obstacles, even as she faced external ones? The thought lingered as their discussions deepened, propelling Claire toward a revelation that could change everything. Tomorrow, the heavier battles would commence, not solely against Mark, but against the remnants of her self-doubt. Taking a breath, she pivoted, ready to face whatever came next. The morning sun cast its rays around the break room, warming Claire's resolve as she walked in, armed with her notes and a newfound purpose. She cleared her throat, sending silent prayers into the universe that today would be a breakthrough. The prospect of the upcoming presentation compelled her. This was more than just a proposal. It held the potential to reshape her perception of her capabilities. As her colleagues filtered in, the atmosphere vibrated with a shared anticipation. They had agreed to spend the evening refining their pitch and had each come with assignments from the previous meeting. Claire's heartbeat quickened at the thought of revealing a design model, her design model, the one she had meticulously drafted. Today would mark the moment she stepped firmly into her role as a leader. Jonah appeared first, practically vibrating with eagerness. "I added some figures regarding sustainable outcomes. I think they're going to blow management's mind." His enthusiasm reminded her why they had all gathered. Each of them was a crucial piece of a puzzle that could catalyze real change. "Let's build from here," Claire encouraged, feeling her initial anxieties evaporate with each supportive nod from her teammates. "What about refining the message? We need a narrative that connects our ideas to real-world results." They began exchanging thoughts, unwinding concepts they initially considered disparate. Sheila highlighted expected costs versus potential revenues, illustrating that their ideas were not only visionary, but grounded in profitability.
Claire's confidence surged, knowing they were enmeshing creativity with practicality, a balance crucial for their proposal's success. Then Mark strode in, exuding an air of superiority, attempting to reassert his shadow over the group. Are we still on the eco-friendly bandwagon? Hope that's not your big pitch. Claire clenched her jaw but took a deep breath. This was a familiar scenario. She could feel the confrontation simmering beneath the calm surface, and she knew she wanted it to boil over. "Yes, Mark," she stated, her voice steady, "but maybe if you paid attention, you'd see it's not just about being trendy. It's about providing value." "Value?" His scoff was derisive. "Isn't that code for just making yourself feel good about cleaning?" Each word furrowed the tension tighter, but Claire recognized an opportunity here. Rather than retreat into uncertainty, she leaned forward, ready to illuminate the depth behind their proposal. "It's about showing respect for a profession that hasn't gotten much recognition. We want to elevate these roles, which includes ensuring the business's success." Mark hesitated for a moment, and Claire sensed a shift. She saw the tiniest fracture in his demeanor. Could he be having the same internal turmoil she navigated? With a flick of her pen, she gestured to a chart she had laid out. "If we highlight sustainable practices, our cleaning solutions will appeal to a wider audience, leading to increased clientele. It's about segmentation and tapping a market that appreciates authenticity." As her team viewed her with growing admiration, the fears that had long bound her began to unravel. She could wield influence. This was her moment. Mark's scoff transformed into a mumbled defense as he shuffled his feet, his bravado wavering. Claire allowed herself a moment of triumph before she caught her reflection in the window. A surge of self-awareness enveloped her. She realized how long she had let external dismissals dictate her worth. The irony struck her. She had just called out a pattern of disbelief in herself while unearthing strength in her colleagues. The fatiguing mental battle within her did not vanish, but a sliver of clarity lit the path forward. This wasn't simply about crafting a proposal, it was an opportunity to carve out her identity. Firmly planting that idea was crucial as they approached the meeting with management next week. As the session concluded, enthusiasm surged like electricity. "Let's meet tomorrow for a rehearsal," Claire proposed eagerly. As they all exchanged affirmations, she felt a soft yet powerful shift within. Her self-doubt didn't abate completely, but her modus operandi transformed. She was now facing it as a challenger instead of a passive victim. Tomorrow, however, would be the test, bringing together their collective strengths while confronting any inner fears she would still grapple with. Claire's heart raced. Could she stand her ground not just against Mark, but against the fiercest critic, herself? She left the break room with a sense of urgency, ready to explore her power further and confront the expectations she had accepted, but now was ready to reshape. Little did she know, a pivotal decision awaited her as the day unfolded, leading her down a path that would push her limits like never before. Claire awoke the next morning with a weight on her chest, the air thick with anticipation. The presentation loomed like a shadow over the day. While she had exuded confidence the evening prior, self-doubt clawed back relentlessly. What if management dismissed their ideas? What if she faltered in front of her team? These thoughts circled like vultures, pecking at her resolve. Dressed in a tailored yet vibrant outfit, she wanted to embody leadership and authenticity. Each stitch and color was a celebration of her identity, the designer she had always yearned to be, no longer overshadowed by Mark's relentless sarcasm or the self-doubt that accompanied it. But deep down, beneath the colors and the fabric, hung the gnawing fear of inadequacy. Glaring at herself in the mirror, Claire demanded a different perspective.
The woman she saw was not a timid subordinate anymore. She was a leader, a visionary with the capability to drive change. The moment jolted her, a recognition of her own power. Decisions occupied her mind. How to project this newfound identity during the meeting and how to counter any lingering influences from Mark. Arriving at the office, the atmosphere buzzed with the usual frenetic energy. Colleagues congregated in clusters, their discussions punctuated with laughter and urgency. Claire traded quick pleasantries before secluding herself in the conference room, needing solitude not just to focus but to strategize. She laid out her notes, techniques, and data, visualizing the presentation's flow. It was time to negotiate her self-worth and communicate value unmistakably. Just as Claire began to feel a rhythm pulse through her, the familiar sound of Mark's boots echoed in the hallway. The door swung open and he sauntered in, confidence oozing from every pore. "So, what's the big surprise today? More cleanliness is next to godliness?" His tone dripped with sarcasm, stinging under the guise of casual banter. Claire steadied her breath, suppressing the instinct to shrink. This was a dare. "Actually, I think you'll find it's less about godliness and more about practicality," she shot back, grounding her confidence in her knowledge. Mark rolled his eyes, but she noticed a glimmer of unease flicker across his face. Their verbal sparring was quickly intercepted as Jonah and Sheila arrived, their mere presence boosting Claire's morale. "We're ready to nail this," Jonah said, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Sheila nodded in agreement. "And we need to emphasize the value we've uncovered in the consumer market. It's stronger than we realized." Claire could see in their eyes the same determination she felt, a collective hunger to alter perceptions of their work. The rehearsal commenced, and though they stumbled at times, Claire took each misstep as a learning opportunity. Flipping through her notes, she integrated her teammates' voice into the proposal, reinforcing their shared vision. Every feedback moment transformed into a chance for her to direct the conversation, juggling questions with confidence she'd previously thought unlikable. But suspicion loomed from the corner of the room. Mark quietly critiqued every word, weaponizing doubt to sow discord. "You think management will take you seriously with this? Fluff?" he scoffed midway through. Yet, rather than allowing it to anchor her resolve, she considered it fuel. Time to make a point. "Mary's and Sheila's work embody the future of where our industry is going, while your cynicism pales in comparison," she asserted, speaking toward Mark with conviction. The whole room went still, absorbing the shift. Claire felt electrified. She had turned the tide. It was not just about defending her team. It was about asserting her rightful place among them. As the rehearsal wound down, Claire felt invigorated, a harmony in the chaos of the day. However, beneath the thrill lurked apprehension. She would have to face management soon, their judgment a lingering specter. How would she safeguard this newfound sense of self during the real presentation? The moment for affirmation beckoned, and her heart thumped like a drum. As they circulated their pitch, Claire realized this moment was about more than business strategies. It was about demonstrating pride in their work and their worth as individuals. "Tomorrow, everything changes," she whispered to herself, clutching the papers tightly as she exited the conference room, fueled by a mix of determination and trepidation. Little did she know, the challenges ahead not only tested her resolve, but also unmasked hidden allies and enemies, pushing her toward a climactic moment of reckoning she had never anticipated. The morning sun streamed through the office windows, casting long shadows across Claire's desk, the glow illuminating her resolve. She recounted the previous day's rehearsal, an exhilarating blend of triumph and anxiety. Locked in her thoughts, Claire felt the thrill of stepping forward.
a pivotal moment teetering between personal evolution and professional exposure. The real presentation loomed, and with it, doubt once again threatened to creep in. In preparation, Claire transformed her desk into a creative sanctuary, surrounding herself with vibrant sketches and brainstorming notes. Each page was a testament to her hard work and dedication, a visual reminder of the identity she had begun to embrace. She knew she needed to carry that energy with her into the conference room. Her team's work needed not just to be seen, but celebrated. The essence of their ideas could illuminate the path forward. As the clock ticked closer to the meeting, an unexpected nagging surfaced in her mind, echoing Mark's earlier jabs. A jab that redefined her in his eyes, a subordinate with dreams. But she wasn't that anymore. She no longer needed his approval, and acknowledging that felt liberating. "Today is about us," she murmured to herself, straightening her posture. The mirror in her mind reflected a leader ready to advocate fiercely for what they had built together. Entering the conference room, Claire was immediately enveloped in an atmosphere charged with anticipation. Jonah and Sheila were already seated, their laptops open and notes scattered across the table. There was excitement shimmering in their eyes, and Claire felt a wave of gratitude wash over her, a sense of unity grounded in their shared vision. "Ready?" Claire asked, her voice steady.
The two nodded, and she could sense that now was the time to harness the momentum of their earlier rehearsal, to turn their ideas into a compelling narrative. Beginning the presentation, she strategically led the discussion, weaving their data with personal anecdotes that highlighted their department's vision. As Claire spoke, she caught glimpses of Mark seated quietly at the back. His discontent bubbled just under the surface, a remnant of the cynicism she had faced before. But this time, it didn't affect her. She was prepared for his intent to undermine. In one segment, she invited Jonah to share his analysis of market trends, his voice buoying the team's argument. Claire acknowledged their fears and positioned them as stepping stones. "These insights are the stepping stones to our next breakthrough," she declared passionately, inviting her team into the narrative. Near the end, Claire sensed Mark on the verge of interjecting. Timing was crucial. "But what do you think our clients actually want?" he interrupted, his tone dismissive. She inhaled deeply. "That's a great question, Mark." Her heart raced, but her facade was unyielding. "Our recent feedback indicates a significant shift in client expectations. They desire innovation coupled with reliability. That's the bridge we're actively building." Mark faltered for a moment, unable to retort smoothly. The room buzzed with an uneasy silence, and Claire felt the power shift back into her hands. It was exhilarating. The presentation concluded, but such a victory was not without its toll. Managing the pressure from Mark while keeping her team motivated strained her nerve. Claire returned to her desk, the thrill of the presentation intermingled with a realization that her growth was just beginning. This shift, while promising, called for continuous effort, and she would need to remain steadfast against lingering doubts. Then it hit her, a moment of clarity. What if there was a deeper strategy to forge connections with the management team? A collaboration that could reveal their potential allies within the company. The notion of navigating the political landscape sparked a new dilemma in her mind. Just as Claire began to contemplate her next move, a message pinged on her phone. An unexpected meeting request from upper management. Was this the opportunity she'd been waiting for, or yet another obstacle to navigate? The clock was ticking, and the weight of her decision settled on her shoulders. The time had come to face not just the management, but the fears that still resided in her. What awaited her in that meeting? And how much further could she push her newfound resolve? The hum of the fluorescent lights provided a sterile backdrop as Claire sat in the dimly lit conference room, fidgeting with the loose thread on her blazer.
The meeting she had anticipated with wary excitement had resulted in a confusing cocktail of apprehension and eagerness. Upper management had been a distant hope on her radar, and now that it was looming directly in front of her, the reality felt thick and heavy. The room filled
as people filtered in, and she recognized some familiar faces alongside higher-ups she barely knew. They took their seats, exchanging glances among themselves that felt like the silent buzz of a secret meeting, leaving her out in the cold. Claire's fingers drummed against the table, a nervous habit she had long tried to suppress. She was in the midst of a transformative phase, a shift that required confidence she was only now starting to nurture. As the meeting commenced, the leader of the group, a tall man with sharp features and an unyielding gaze, began recapping quarter results with a monotone drawl. But Claire was too absorbed in her thoughts, mentally rehearsing the strategy she had concocted. It wasn't simply about presenting her work anymore. This was about aligning herself with these decision-makers, threading her ambitions into their narrative. Her heart raced when she realized that Mark sat 2 seats away, observing her with a mixture of disdain and curiosity. His presence was almost a mockery of the very resolve she had been trying to cultivate. Yet still, she felt an ember of strength igniting within her. Today was not about him. It was about her. "Claire," the lead director called, nodding towards her, breaking her reverie. "Your recent ideas on client engagement have generated positive feedback. Can you highlight your approach and what you envision moving forward?" The spotlight was on her, and for a moment the cacophony of doubt threatened to bubble back to the surface. Overwhelmed by the prospect of sharing the floor with such high-ranking individuals, she hesitated. Only for a fraction of a second, but it felt eternal. Then she summoned the energy that had driven her through the presentation days ago. Standing confidently, she cleared her throat, grasping the edge of the table. "Thank you for the opportunity. Our recent analysis revealed not just shifting client expectations, but an opportunity to foster deeper relationships through innovative engagement strategies." With each word, she felt the narrative she had practiced intertwining with her fervent passion. By leveraging digital touchpoints and personalized outreach, we can build a community that feels both validated and invested. As she spoke, she noticed a mixture of intrigue and skepticism on the audience's faces. Her cadence surged with newfound determination, and she began to sense a community forming within the management team, not unlike her own group. Despite Mark's stony expression, Claire saw other nods of agreement, quiet murmurs of interest. "Interesting approach," the lead director remarked, pen poised over his notepad. "But how do you plan to quantify success and demonstrate tangible results?" The question hung in the air like a dare. Claire felt the stir of challenge. "We can utilize analytics tools to measure engagement metrics and client feedback in real time," she responded, the strategic maneuver sparking adrenaline in her bloodstream. "This feedback loop can critically inform our tactics moving forward, ultimately aligning with our business goals." The energy in the room shifted as the questions volleyed. Claire navigated each query with clarity and insight. Her confidence grew, woven from threads of those earlier fears she had faced head-on. It was a welcomed revelation that her instincts, those quiet voices urging her toward growth, could guide her more effectively than she had ever imagined. After what felt like an eternity, the meeting concluded with a polite round of applause. As the group dispersed, Claire couldn't help but feel an exhilarating sense of accomplishment. It was more than advocacy for her ideas. It was a step firmly planted in her emerging identity. She had forged connections that could propel her team and herself into new spheres of influence. Mark approached her as the others filtered out, his eyes cutting into her with an intensity that almost felt personal. Before he could speak, Claire met his gaze directly. "What can I help you with, Mark?" His lips thinned for a moment as he recalibrated his next words. "I underestimated you," he finally admitted, a begrudging acknowledgement that sent a thrill through her. With a nod of acceptance, Claire dismissed his sentiment. Underestimating her was the last mistake he would make, and as she walked away, a thrilling realization struck her. This wasn't just the beginning, it was the escalation of everything she had been building toward. But as her internal victory surged, an incoming call from her phone disrupted her thoughts. It was Jonah. "Claire, I think we need to discuss something important about today's presentation and the feedback we received," he said, his tone serious. It sent ripples of curiosity racing through her mind. What new challenges awaited her just beyond this victory? The sunlight streamed through Claire's kitchen window as she stood by the counter, her hands occupied with assembling a gourmet meal. This wasn't just a dish, it was a tribute to her newfound identity, a celebration of the woman she had become. Over the past few weeks, she had traversed a pathway of courage, advocating for herself, her colleagues, and their vision. Transformative moments marked every turn. This endeavor was merely another feast in her banquet of achievements. As she diced vegetables, memories cascaded through her mind. The trepidation at the breakthrough meeting, the exhilarating feeling of recognition by management, and the internal battles she had waged against self-doubt. Each recollection sharpened her sense of purpose. Each moment stood as testament to her evolution from Claire the cleaner to Claire the leader. The steam from the pot enveloped her like an embrace, confirming that she had not only stepped into her role, but also anchored herself firmly in it. The presentation to management had shifted their perceptions of her and the cleaning industry itself. With the strategic plan in play and their commitment to sustainability gaining traction, Claire understood that the strategy was evolving from sketch to a framework solidifying into an enterprise. She recalled Jonah's phone call, his fervent voice still ringing in her ears. It initiated a brainstorming session brimming with new insights and determined energy. "We're being seen, Claire. Management is intrigued by our proposal, and they want to hear more about potential partnerships." The growing momentum felt palpable, the tide shifting beneath her feet. In that moment, as she stirred the simmering sauce, a wave of satisfaction washed over her. She realized that she had not merely conquered the disdain of others, but had simultaneously turned the mirror inward, confronting her own limitations and misconceptions about her value. The accolades that followed their proposal were not acknowledgments of charity, they were hard-earned recognitions of merit. A soft knock at the door disrupted her thoughts, breaking through the mix of sense and nostalgia. Claire wiped her hands on a towel and opened the door to reveal Sheila and Jonah, their faces lighting up with excitement. "Smells amazing," Sheila exclaimed, stepping inside and taking in the vibrant kitchen filled with the aroma of fresh herbs and spices. "Just trying my hand at creating something worthy of a celebration," Claire replied, a smile brightening her expression. "Celebration? Is it for the proposal getting accepted?" Jonah asked, his brows shooting up in curiosity. "No, not just that. Today marks a month since we pitched and began implementing our changes. Our influence is genuinely reshaping the narrative around what our industry can be." Claire felt a flutter of pride as she reflected on their achievements together. As they gathered around the table, Claire felt immense gratitude for the partnership they had forged, not only as colleagues, but as comrades in a transformative journey. They shared dishes and laughter, recounting the whirlwind of decisions that had led them to this point, wrapped in a feeling of solidarity that transcended their professions. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Sheila mused, her eyes shining with hope. "From cleaning offices to strategizing with management, we had to fight for recognition." Jonah nodded, leaning in with enthusiasm. "And we can continue to build on this. Claire, we're already receiving feedback from potential collaborators. This can evolve into something colossal." A sense of peace swept over Claire. They were in this together, providing a network of support and empowerment that she once thought impossible.
She reflected on every hard-fought battle, the times she had stood tall against Mark's undermining, intent to establish a new paradigm where their profession would be honored. "I want to continue nurturing that spirit as we grow," Claire said, her voice steady. "We need to ensure our solutions resonate with other cleaning teams throughout the company. We not only have the chance to elevate ourselves, but we can also show the world the value that exists within this line of work." With the evening winding down, Claire felt the pulse of anticipation in her chest. The path ahead was laden with challenges, but she had steadfastly demonstrated her ability to confront them, both as a leader and as an advocate for change. She had emerged from her cocoon and pleasantly fashioned herself into a butterfly, ready to soar into greater heights. They said their goodbyes, and as Claire locked the door,
Behind them, she stood for a moment in the quiet of her home. With a deep breath, she committed to the journey ahead, one not marred by insecurity, but marked by her newfound confidence and esteem. Standing in her kitchen, Claire celebrated not just a dish she had made. She celebrated the potential that lay ahead, one filled with endless possibilities as she transformed the narrative around her profession. The nights of hard work and commitment to self-worth had shaped her into someone both powerful and deserving of every success that would come her way. It was time for action. It was time to lead. Now, as the courage flooded through her veins, she grasped the vision beyond the kitchen's warmth. The vision of life filled with purpose that would amplify her achievements. This was just the beginning. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and theories about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion.